Hi, I'm Dave, owner of A1 Seamless Gutters. Today we're going to remove some ice dams from this house here. Ice dams on the edge of the roof caused from the heat loss through the shingles. Forms the ice dam at the edge of the roof, which becomes very dangerous to the house. This ice can leak between the walls, get into the ceiling, do a lot of rot, and extreme amount of damage to the ceilings. So we're going to remove that the proper way today. Many people attempt to remove the ice from roofs. A lot of it is not the proper way of doing so. They'll take a hammer and beat the ice off, or with an axe and things like that. That will actually make holes through the shingles, through the gutters, and causing a lot more damage to the house. Another way of people trying to do it is hot water, which is great. If they use a hot water pressure washer, at 4,000 psi on a pressure washer, what ends up happening is, for one thing, you put a lot more water on the ground, creating more ice. But with a 4,000 psi, they end up literally blowing the shingles right off the house. So trying to protect the house, they end up actually ruining the house and making more damage to it. What we're going to do is use the proper way, which is an actual steamer. We'll take you out back, we'll show you the steamer, and we'll give you some ideas of what that's like. Okay, if you're a homeowner looking to hire this out to somebody, really pay attention to the contractor that you hire. Make sure that it's a reputable company that has two kinds of insurance, both liability and workman's comp. Liability insurance is going to protect in case he does rip off some of those shingles off your house or some other kind of damage. Workman's comp is if they have an employee that's up on the roof, falls off your roof, you certainly don't want your homeowners to pay for that. Once your contractor shows up on your site, make sure he or she has the proper tools. The wrong tools will do a lot of damage. One thing to stay away from, again, is the old handy dandy hammer. If they show up with this on your house, they're going to end up tearing off some shingles, making holes or whatnot on your house. You're going to have damage. Do not let them use a hammer on your house. The other thing is the pressure washer. A pressure washer, again, starts anywhere from 1,000 psi to 4,000 psi. That kind of pressure will rip the shingles right off your roof, causing a lot more damage than you had to begin with. This is a regular pressure washer. A hot water steam pressure washer is going to have a heating element on the front, but it's still a pressure washer. What you definitely want is going to be a steamer. Totally a different animal. All this thing does is make steam versus the hot pressure. How you can tell the difference is A, the looks of the things, but the guns, you can certainly take a look at those. Both guns are very similar in design. What you're going to see, the length, one is for just steam, one is for pressure. A pressure washer gun is going to have this handle on the front, and that's what triggers the pressure. A steamer, you will notice no handle. You're going to have about 100 to 200 pounds of pressure in the steamer versus the 4,000 psi in the gun. Another thing to look at is going to be the hose that comes with it. One way you could certainly tell the difference is a pressure washer is going to have a pressure hose, which is usually a hard plastic hose made to withstand a lot of pressure. Your steamer is going to have a very soft rubber hose. It's simply for steam, no pressure at all. Be very careful on which one you have. You certainly want the steamer, not the pressure washer. With that in mind, let's go ahead and get this bad boy up and running, and we'll show you how it's done. And we're back at it. First things first, we got to get rid of some of the snow that's on top so we can get at that ice down the bottom. So we just got to clear some of the snow at least about 6 feet up. Preferably the whole roof, but 6 feet up is at least what you got to work with. And then we'll get to work and get some of that steamed out of there. Okay, now we got some of that snow out of the way. It's time to get at that ice. Let's get to steaming. And we're off. Here we go, starting to steam. As you can see, there's a lot of steam coming out of that hose. And that water is very slight amount of water. We're using a very minimal water with it's mostly steam coming out of there. And as you can see, it just peels right back that ice. Does a really good job. Again, if that was a pressure washer, you'd be blowing the shingles right off there with 4,000 psi. This water that we're looking at is roughly 290 to 300 degrees. Right now we're looking at about 290, 280, but it does go up to 300 degrees, where that's another big difference between a steamer and a pressure washer. Pressure washer, the water's going to get up to right around 150, maybe 160 if it's a really good pressure washer. But a steamer is the only way to go with this. So as he's going, he's working on this patch over here. And a few minutes ago he worked on another patch. Let's take a look where. Very quickly, he took this section right out. And as I'm doing this, we're noticing one very crucial thing that I was talking about earlier. Let's get down here to the edge. And if you can look here, that is the signs of an axe chipping at the ice, most likely last year. So that's the type of damage we're looking at if you use an axe or a hammer or anything like that. That's what ends up happening. Look at that one all ripped right up there. That's definitely an axe right there. The difference between that and what he's doing over here, he's literally just getting right underneath that ice. No problems to the shingles. The 300 degrees will not harm your shingles. So we have no fears about damage to your house at all. We'll let this thing just eat right through that ice. What he usually does, he'll make a channel first, which as you see right there, that lets all the new water, in case you do have an ice dam, that lets all the water that does come out of that hose have a nice weight off the roof versus going backwards underneath the shingles. And then he just works it back and forth, goes right underneath that shingles, and there goes your ice problems right there. Made that another nice little channel. And then he'll just work it right through. We'll be able to pop that right off just like that. Look how slick that was. No damage to that shingle right there. Look right in there. No damage at all into there. Now, if you have gutters on your house, what we try to do, not always possible, what we try to do is we'll heat the outside of that downspout. So any water that does go off is going to go through your gutter. So you're not going to get water down the ground. Here it is before we heated it. The gutter's right full. And we just like to make a little channel so we can put the least amount of water as possible on that ground. Especially if you have a tarred driveway right there. We do not want the ice. And that is how A1 Seamless Gutters removes ice from your roof safely. We'll help you turn this into this. Without that. So, the next time you have ice dams on your roof, don't go hacking at it with a hammer. Call the water experts at A1 Seamless Gutters. 782-9999.